Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. It is January the 20th, 2024, and we are live here down at News Talk 830 WCCO every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Here again at CCO, welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. The show is hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill, with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and Remax Advantage Plus. Always welcome your questions, your comments, your thoughts. And we've got a lot to talk about today. It should be a fun show. Scott, good morning to you, bud.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Been here for about 17, 18 years doing the show from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock now on WCCO. Love your comments, love your text, love your feeds on all of the social media. 612-294-6949 is the number. You can either call and go live, any questions, or you can text us.
Yeah, again, appreciate you joining us. We're happy to be here today. Mike is off, as you can tell this week. Mike not in studio, but a lot to talk about with the market, and we're going live on air again. News Talk 830 WCCO, and you can join us at 612-294-6949 by phone or text. A lot to talk about with our market here today. We had our team holiday party last night, but we made it. We made it, Scott. Even though with the holiday party last night, we're still here.
Yeah, it was a great party. One of the things that Ryan said at the end of it, which is so true. I've been doing this for 25 years. I cannot think of a more quality group as a whole of individuals on the team. And I mean, and obviously the accolades come with the top team in the state and but
here we go.
It is about the individuals.
We'll talk about thank you, everybody. Hey, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend is starting off well. It's January the 20th, 2024, and this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mr. Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, myself, Ryan O'Neill, the Minnesota Real Estate Team, and Remax Advantage Plus. We appreciate you joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend is starting off well. And this is an interactive show. You can interrupt us at any point. 612-294-6949. Again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us at any point. We also stream the show on social media. And Scott, good morning to you there, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. About halfway through January into 2024. I'm going to talk everything real estate related. Like Ryan said, we'll get into that. One kind of fun question we like to shoot out every week and get everybody's response. I think this is kind of a good one. So if you had to choose to have a free meal for the rest of your life every day, but you had to choose one fast food restaurant to have that from, what would be that fast food restaurant?
So fun.
So kick that around. Think about it. So you had to eat there for the rest of your life. It's free, but you have to pick one place.
Yeah, fun questions. We always like to keep it interactive. Phone calls or texts at 612-294-6949. Last night was the Minnesota Real Estate Team's annual holiday party in Bloomington. Had a wonderful group there, a fun night, a lot of awards. Just a great night, Scott.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like we were talking about just before the show, just an incredible group of agents that make up the team, and everybody was recognized last night for their part of it. And a couple that stuck out to me are Marcos Martinez did 40 transactions in this year, which is a bucket load in any real estate market.
Yeah,
but I mean, kudos to him because this was a tough market. And he did 40 home sales last year, which is just awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. Fun. It was a great party. Recognized all of our partners that are part of the Minnesota Real Estate Show, agents. So a fun night. And Scott,
Agent of the Year.
Agent of the Year. I've got to give a shout out to Miss Laura Antolic. with the Minnesota real estate team who won Agent of the Year. That is an award that all the team members vote on. So super big award for her. Jason Walgrave was the top seller for volume. His son Joseph and Elizabeth, his wife Liz, were there. That was fun seeing Joseph.
Yeah, it was fun. He's about 9 years old, and the Walgraves are a very gifted family, both physically,
Yep.
beautiful family, and also obviously just really good people. So he's about 9 years old. Took the award for his dad, and he said, "My dad works really hard and he does a lot of business." He said, "But when I get into real estate, I'll do a lot more."
Yeah, it was
It was
really
cute.
it was really good on stage. I gave him the mic. I said, "Hey Joseph, what do you think? Dad's big award. Great." He said, "That's good. I'm going to do a lot more."
That's right.
So yeah, it was a fun night. And again, we appreciate you joining us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. At any point you have questions, comments, thoughts, interrupt us. We do like to talk real estate, mortgage, everything that's going on in the market here in the Twin Cities, throughout Minnesota, Western Wisconsin, wherever you might be catching the show. And Scott, let's look at the weekly stats here this past week. Again, if we look at new listings in the Twin Cities, we're up 4%. So 4% more homes went on the market this past week than last year at this time. Pending sales, wow, pending sales up almost 20% year over year, 19.3% more.
That's the biggest jump I've in a couple of years.
Yeah, and inventory is still down year over year, if you can believe, 6,382 homes for sale. Scott, Mike is not here today. Mike with Luminate Home Loans, but interest rates have been dropping, and that's spurring a lot of demand.
It is, and we've and those that pending numbers is what we've been talking about, guys. So rates jumped up to 8%. They're trickling back down. They're somewhere in the sixes right now. We're kind of predicting somewhere in the fives by April. Tons of pent up demand of people that could not buy when rates went to 8. Now they're going to be back in the game. So you can see that we've got 20% more pendings than we did year over year. That moving into a spring market with rates tumbling, it's going to get crazy. So if you are a buyer, this is your time. You got a window to be able to not compete with the entire world. And if you're a seller, it is going to be a fun spring market because it is going to be fast moving.
Yeah, I had our first text message question come in. Again, you can call us or text us. We'll take them live here at CCO. First question is, guys, do you think we are going to see a lot of home inspections waived again in this market? I do, Scott. Yeah, I think especially price range wise, if you're buying, let's just say in the Twin Cities, maybe 400,000 and under, obviously there's a ton of demand in that price range, and taking out that home inspection is one thing that buyers do to strengthen their offer. Not necessarily something that we always agree with. There's pros and cons to it, of course, but Scott, it's going to happen in the market.
Yeah, it is. I was just kind of going through a little exercise. I took a look at a split level in Lakeville since 1998, which is when I got in the business, and I tried to find a split level that had been sold multiple times. So I found one, and it was a 1985 split level, about 2,000 square feet, so pretty standard. And in 1998, it had sold for 124,000. It had maxed out to 460,000 in 2004.
Okay.
Then it had dropped back down to 146,000 around the 16, 17, 18 years, and now just resold last year for 340,000. And I thought that was interesting. So when we talk about, buy your house, date the rate, that's what happens in the real estate market. You bought a house for 124. Oh my gosh, you're brilliant. It went all the way up to 402. If you bought it at 402, you weren't that smart. Now all of a sudden it went all the way back down to 160, and now it's all the way back up to where it was. So real estate's a long time hold. If you're going into it for a short time gain, probably not the right deal.
Yeah, and again, to that point, also being in the business at that time, that was a different market where, again, from a mortgage standpoint, anybody could qualify for mortgages. They were lending money very freely. that caused the market collapse. And so again, with the prices going up, since that time, the rules have changed now for qualification from a mortgage. And so what Scott just described has been a slow and steady increase in prices. Even last year, again, so last year in the Twin Cities area, the year over year stats we shared last year, down almost 18%,
Yeah.
18% less closings. But again, when you look even at the median sales price, the median sales price went from 363 to 368.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. There is the limited supply, especially in that first-time home buyer price range, with rents being expensive. And so it's, from a kind of a long-term generational wealth move. If you are renting right now, or you have been renting a long time, or you're trying to time the market, look at buying. Look at buying. Get in the game, Scott. I know we're up against our first break, but we can talk a little bit about that. I mean, that's how people have, families over the years have built generational wealth, is getting into real estate.
That's right. Yeah, we'll talk about when we get back from the break. I appreciate everybody listening.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us again. We're on WCCO. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and you can join us with questions or texts 612-294-6949. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on social media. Hope your weekend's going well. Mr. Mike is off today. Luminate Home Loans. Good morning, Bill Ebert, Jennifer Tischler. Good morning. Jen's joining us on LinkedIn. Bill on Facebook. Thank you. Thanks everybody for joining in. Again, a super fun party last night. A lot of people being recognized. Bill Ebert, I got to give a shout out to Bill winning the Team Player Award for our team, which means that he is going on our top producer trip to Mexico. He and a guest, and so congratulations, Bill. A ton of hard work by Bill, and really so many on the team, Scott.
Yeah, it was. It was just it was a great year, and again, a tough year. And
yeah.
So what's so fun about that is just see the energy in the room.
Yeah.
And everybody looking forward to 2024, and basically we all got kicked in the teeth in 2023. 2024, we were talking a little bit off air. There was a poll that was put out about what are you hoping for as a country in 2024, and the overwhelming one-word answer that came back was sanity.
Sanity.
And I thought, God, that would be the word I would say. I think that's what everybody's looking for. Unfortunately, looking at this next year, I'm not sure how we're going to achieve that.
With the political year.
Yeah, no matter which way it goes, but that is the number one thing that America is looking for, is sanity.
Sanity, especially with the market too. It was a tough year. Again, sales down, 17% year over year. Really, anybody that's been in the business from a broker standpoint, agent, loan officers, title. But really, when you think about it, COVID was just so busy, crazy busy for everybody. But we are starting to see, as we a little bit last week, the dam is starting to break. Transactions coming about, pendings up 17%. You get again people just deciding, hey, we need to finally move. I know we've been waiting forever. We need to finally move, Scott, and eventually life happens.
That's right.
You need to move, and so that's where agents watching. It's going to be a better year, no doubt.
I just saw that we had Laura Antoic, the agent of the year.
Laura was watching.
She's watching now, so we need to watch her P's and Q's.
Congratulations again, Laura.
Great year. Awesome agent. Yeah, I think sanity for 2024. I think the housing market is not going to allow us to get there. I think that is going to be a little bit interesting. We'll talk about what's going to happen, I think, going into that April-March area timeframe. And we'll see what happens.
We were talking about fashion last night. Scott, you looked very fashionable.
So did you with your lit up shoes. I thought those were awesome.
Oh yes, yeah. I brought out the Ken outfit from a little O'Neill Brother concert action. So it was fun. Here we go. We're going back live on air. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend's going well here at CCO every Saturday morning, welcoming your questions, comments, thoughts, and talking a little bit about the spring market. Scott, it obviously has been super cold the last few days, but I think what's helping sales is the fact we don't have a foot of snow
No.
out there. So talking to agents on the Minnesota real estate team, people showings. We were talking before the show about football, and you said, "Hey, I'd love to watch the Pack tonight," but you got 6 showings tonight.
From 5 to about 8:30. So I'm right in primetime football. I told my client it doesn't work for me. But they just didn't care about that. So
Yeah,
you know what? If you haven't checked our website out, we haven't talked about that. mnrealestateshow.com. If you kind of want to find out kind of how the team works, and especially with all of our incredible partners, a lot of which were at the holiday party last night. Just great in any industry. HVAC to attorneys to floor people to wet water basin with Steve Grown. Just a good group.
Yeah, I had another text message question come in. And again, you can join us by phone or text 612-294-6949. This one just says, I'm a first-time home buyer. Do you think it's better to buy a Rambler or a split entry home from a long-term appreciation standpoint? Scott?
I'll answer that.
Yeah, what do you got?
Rambler.
Rambler,
Yeah,
why?
graying of Minnesota. The average age right now, I'm going to butcher this, but
Don't butcher it.
I don't remember. It's going to go up considerably.
Yeah.
At the average age in Minnesota is going to go up considerably over the next 10 to 15 years, which means that one level living is going to be great. You would think, well, that will be one level living, kind of patio homes,
Yeah.
and things like that. The land is very, very hard to come by to be able to do that product. We've looked at it, doing it for years. So I think there's going to be not a lot out there. I think people are going to end up going back to older Ramblers that have been renovated so that they can get their one level living, but not have to pay an arm and a leg for new construction.
Yeah, the interesting thing too is you'll find oftentimes affordability in a lot of good split entry homes. It doesn't mean obviously it's a bad choice, but I think to Scott's point, just looking at future buyers with steps, not everybody can do steps. Maybe not everybody wants to do steps. But again, from an affordability standpoint, you can often find a good pricing on a split entry, a 3-level, a 4-level split. And again, Scott, I think people have to realize if for any parents with younger kids, those thinking about buying real estate or thinking, wow, it's just so expensive out there. Like you said, we've got to look out 5 years, 7 years, 10 years with the wealth building effect in a market like Minnesota. We are in a stable housing market. We've got a strong employment base in Minnesota. And so it's a safe long-term investment, Scott. And I think again, so many people are renting right now, a lot of people for very valid reasons. But I think a lot of people are trying to time the market, which I think is foolish because you have to live somewhere. Why not start building some equity? And we don't know, nobody knows what it's going to be, but that's how real estate wealth is built.
That's right. Well, the example I used earlier when I went back and took, one of my listings that's now been sold 9 times, I can tell you that my client, I won't say their name, at that time when it sold for $124,000 was petrified.
Too high.
Yes, that they were going to spend 124 and, is it going to go up? The same exact conversations
Yeah.
that I had 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and now. Because of course it's human nature. You want to be able to make sure or want to know and feel soft and cuddly inside that you're making a great decision that's going to go up. So if this person had waited, let's take that example. So that was 1998, $124,000 to the middle of 2004. So 2.5 years. If they had said, no, I'm going to wait. I don't like the interest rates right now because they were at 8.25. So it was tougher. I don't like the interest rates right now. I'm not going to buy. That house sold 3.5 years later for $402,000.
Yeah.
So if you could go back in time, would you say, hey, you should have bought 10 of those, versus not being scared about buying one?
Yeah. Again, 612-294-6949. Are you guys seeing any investors in this market? We are seeing some investors. We do investment property seminars every month in Bloomington, totally free. We stream them as well. There's no hard sales pitch at all. That's part of kind of how I started in the industry back in 2001, was from the investor standpoint. And Scott, Obviously, limited inventory, so hard to find it. But again, with your agent, he or she should really be doing a lot of due diligence to find off market inventory, networking with our friends at all the different very good real estate brokers in town. There's a lot of good ways to find real estate. And again, when you've got a good agent, he or she is going to be doing that. From an investor standpoint, I think there's never a better time than the present, especially with rents.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's going through my mind, it's when I'm asked that question, is it a good time for investors? Depends on what kind of investor you are. There's times in the market where being a fix and flip is an incredible time to get in the
Sure.
market. You could have bought everything you got your hands on back in 2008 and made a killing. Right now, interest rates are the highest they've been in forever. So you would think, well, that's not a great time to buy, but there's always pockets out there. So if you are, like, for example, if you're listening right now and you bought your home on an FHA loan, let's say 3 to 5 years ago, your house has probably gone up 40%. And because you have an FHA loan, it's probably gone up 65% because somebody can assume that. Investors love that.
Yeah.
Would an investor pay $50,000 more for your four bedroom, 2-story split level that they can rent for $2,000 at 2.6% versus buying the exact same house right now at 7%, 6.5%, whatever it is? Of course they will. So there are some good things out there for you as a seller. You've got an FHA loan, and for investors shopping that.
Yeah, again, interesting time. Be sure to plug in with a really good tax professional to help you understand your tax situation when you're buying real estate, when you're investing in real estate. Oftentimes, people forget the tax benefits of owning investment property, and they're real. It's oftentimes why a lot of investors don't sell stuff; they hold on to it because of those tax benefits. Another text that came in. Again, thanks for joining us on the show. This one says, if sellers don't want to deal with inspections, would a seller not be responsible for $7,500 towards the inspection work? Buyer pays the first $7,500. In other words, if they don't, hey, they did a home inspection, I don't want to do it. Yeah, the seller doesn't have to agree to do anything. They could say no, Scott, from that purchase agreement.
Yeah, in any real estate transaction, you can accept it, reject it, or counter it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're talking about inspections, if you're talking about offers on properties, if you're talking about, removing a contingency for your home to sell, it can be accepted, it can be rejected, or it can be countered. And so in this situation, yeah, if just because you're saying, no, I've got 25 offers on my house, so why in the world would I ever take an offer that has an inspection when 15 don't? That wouldn't be prudent. It doesn't eliminate you from your disclosure. So if you misrepresented something and there was an issue, so yeah, you're still responsible for being an ethics honest seller if you do a full Minnesota disclosure.
Yeah, and again, so it is definitely something you could negotiate. You could just tell the buyer no. The buyer may cancel that purchase agreement as a result of it. You as the seller can't unilaterally cancel it, but the buyer may say, look, they're not going to pay the $7,500. We want to cancel it. We want to be done. And so then you would have to go back and look for other potential offers as well. But thanks for your text. Thanks for joining us on the show. We do appreciate that. This is another interesting one that came in, just saying, guys, what would you say is the number one thing I can do to my house to get it ready to sell? Number one thing you can do to get your house ready, Scott?
Well, I'd have to see the house, but just
Yeah.
in general,
Yep.
Clean it
Yep.
as spotless as it's ever been in the history of your house. And if that's not your cup of vodka, get somebody in there that can actually clean
Yeah.
it. So clean it first of all. Paint, carpet, light fixtures, new mirrors in the bathrooms. These are all new curtains in your bathrooms. These are all things that are minimal costs that you get your best return on.
Yeah.
Typically, you do not want to do any kind of a major renovation. It is, if you did it perfectly, you can get back 50 to 75%. So, paint, carpet, light fixtures.
Yeah, and the reno is more for your enjoyment,
Correct.
personal enjoyment. You're going to be there for 10 years. Hey, go for it. Do it. If you're doing it to massively increase the resale value, unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So again, sometimes those simple things that Scott just talked about. Hey, we're already at the halfway point. Appreciate your interaction. We are live here at WCCO, a great studio down here with our friend Dennis, who guides the show, produces the show for us every weekend. Had a fun party last night, the Minnesota real estate team. We are here, though, for your questions, comments, thoughts. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Good stuff. Thanks for joining us. Interaction.
So I'll put the question out there again. So we've
Yeah,
got
what's the
some
question?
So the question is, if you had to choose, you can eat free for the rest of your life. You have to choose one fast food restaurant.
Yeah, what do you got?
Most of them that are coming in right now is Subway. Lots of Subways.
Subway.
Lots of Subways. Most of them.
Subway. What about Jimmy John's?
Well, I think that's the thing. I think people think in terms of it's healthy. So if I have to eat someplace everywhere, I'll force myself to eat something that's relatively healthy. Mine would be Poke Bowl.
Poke Bowl.
Yeah, it's
from where?
Well, they're all over now. There's Hawaiian Poke Bowl, there's Poke Bowl, there's all of them, and they're basically sushi bowls. But most of them you can also get some kind of hobanachi there. So you have a little bit of a variety. So I would pick that.
You do love hobanachi.
I do like. I like sushi.
Hey, I hope your weekend. We hope your weekend is going well. It's an interesting market here. 2024. We talked a little bit at the party last night. You know, it was a tough year. 2023 across the board was a tough year. There were some agents on the team that had a kind of a resurgent year, though. It was nice.
Well, there were two of them. Brian
Amundson, Zach Savageau.
Correct.
Both of them.
Where where 2 years ago they were. I won't say their numbers, but they were at about 30 to 50% less than what they did. It was very, very impressive because again, not an easy market.
Yeah. We got a comment. Someone says love Poke Bowls.
Oh,
we can't see your name. Sometimes we can see people's names. Sometimes we can't with this software. So I apologize, but someone says they love Poke Bowls.
Yeah, I'd bring Poke Bowls in for my group every once in a while. It was just a big treat. Yeah,
really?
I mean, if you've never had them, they are awesome.
You know, Dennis, we're not going to let you off the hook. Dennis, you got a favorite place you would pick for a restaurant?
They don't go restaurants.
Yeah, you and I both.
Chipotle comes to
Oh
Chipotle.
yes, Chipotle would be my
Dennis.
Chipotle would be my second. Yeah.
Joe Mack. Oh, Joe Mack says he loves Poke Bowl. Joe, I get it. Hey, Joe, it was great to see you last night as well. Another big year for Joe Mack.
Oh my God. Well, Andy's all ripped and
I
in
know.
super good shape. That's why he's eating Poke Bowl.
I know.
Because every bowl is about 45 to 60 grams of protein.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm sure he's pounding some Poke Bowls.
Joe, I liked your scarf you had on last night. That was very kind of cool. And my brother Tim wears those all the time. But Poke Bowl. Great seeing you, he says. Yeah. So second half of the show, we've got a few listings to feature on. But that was an interesting question about what is the most, the number one thing to do. Had another question come in just about technology. Are you guys seeing technology impact sellers' listings, the ability to market a lot? It's kind of an interesting one. Technology, different technology.
Well,
things.
I mean, it's helpful. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the technology, you got to remember, think about, not that long ago, you go back to I'm trying to think of when I stopped doing Star and Tribune and Pioneer Press ads. I think it was 2004. So it's not that long ago, 20 years, where in order to get your house out to a fraction of the people that we're getting it out to right now, it was MLS, local newspapers, Pioneer Press, Star Tribune.
So a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you had to do to get it out there. Now, literally, if you're doing it correctly and you've got a good marketing person, you were literally connecting into anyone that's breathing that is interested in real estate that is going to see your house.
Yeah, Poke Bowl.
Poke Bowl. Yeah. Yeah. Once you've reached your Peter principle, then you eat a Poke Bowl.
Hey, we're going back live on air. We're at CCL. Maybe we should flip the camera around once in a while, just so you can see the whole studio. And but yeah, hey, we're going back live on air. Appreciate you joining us. 612-294-6949. Thanks, everybody. Hey, we're having some fun here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well, everybody. Scott's question earlier was if you had to eat at one restaurant, fast food restaurant,
the
rest of your life.
And it's free.
We had a text come in. Jamie Novak said, definitely crisp and green. Crisp and green. Those are
That would be up there as well.
yeah, crisp and green. I know there's one in Edina, a few different places. Very healthy eating. By the way, Jamie, got to give a shout out to Jamie, won best new addition to the Minnesota real estate team.
Which is basically most loved new agent.
Yeah,
That's what she won.
best new addition, but also she won a team player award as well. Does a ton for our team, different trainings, helping out agents internally. So her and her husband Justin are also going to be going on the top producer trip to down to Mexico as well. So that's a fun one, though. That's a fun one. That's again, you can join us with your questions. I had another question come in. Scott says, my appliances, both kitchen and washer and dryer, are getting older. Would it be wise to replace them with new appliances before selling?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's kind of the package deal. It's
Yeah.
like if everything in your house is 10 years old, carpet, light fixtures, appliances, you want to churn them out.
And appliances, meaning
Your dishwasher, and that's the other thing. Dishwasher, refrigerator, sink, whatever,
stove.
stove. I mean, they don't have to be Gen Air top of the line appliances.
Right.
People walk in and it's like, oh wow, this is cool. It's new. Now when you're building,
Yeah.
people are really into that. But when you're buying existing, I'm telling you right now, most buyers go, oh cool, refrigerator's new.
Newer.
Yeah, they don't go, who made it? What's the brand? How much does it cost?
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah. Again, from a kitchen standpoint, it's got a little bit of that wow effect that you don't need to go out and break the bank, like Scott said. But that is something. Appliances are an important piece. Had another question, Scott, about the finishing of basements. Basements, again, finishing basements is more about enjoyment.
Correct.
For you with the family watching the Packers game tonight. We're all hanging out. We're sitting down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Below ground footage
Yeah.
in Minnesota from an appraisal standpoint. We got some great appraisers on the Minnesota real estate team. John Love, Michelle Lay, Mary Alice Bevor, other people. Below ground footage does not have the same value, Scott, as above ground.
easy math. Take a 1,000 footprint 2-story, which let's take a 1,200 footprint 2-story, which means there's basically about 1,000 square feet in the basement that you
Yep.
can finish besides your mechanical room. So if you do that at base level, nice. I mean, you're not doing exposed beams and huge bars and et cetera. It's going to cost you 60 grand to finish that basement. When you sell your house, if it was done perfectly, you're going to get 15 to 20 grand out of that.
Yeah.
That's what you have to understand is if it's done. And what you're saying is, no, not my basement, because
Yeah.
I did. Yes, your basement too. That is what you get. It doesn't matter how nice it is. I've seen more sellers kill themselves on basements by finishing it the way that they think it should be finished and actually get less for their house than if it was an unfinished basement in the first place.
Yeah, it's really hard. I had another nice comment. Jamie did comment, said, be sure you get all matching appliances. Very true.
Very true.
Yeah, you can't have
you can't have bisque with with white and stainless steel.
Had another comment. The restaurant of choice, they said Chick-fil-A.
Yes, I'm sure we will probably get a lot of that. So Subway is definitely winning the run right now. Yeah, Subway.
Chick-fil-A. What is it about Chick-fil-A?
Well, it's if you're going to eat fast food, it is the most healthy fast food you can get.
Okay.
So the way that they do their chicken, it's very, very lightly breaded. You can also get grilled chicken. That is probably the best grilled chicken out there.
Wow.
And if you're a breakfast person, they've got an incredible white egg chicken sandwich that's just great. I think it's like 200 calories.
Hey, we always like to feature a few listings with the Minnesota real estate team and Remax Advantage Plus. Rodolfo Trujillo. By the way, RT had some wonderful, stylish pants last night. Rodolfo's got a listing, Scott. This one's in Minnetonka, 15624 Sunset Road in Minnetonka for $599,000. It is a complete rehab. It is has 3 bedrooms on a main level, an owner suite with a full bathroom and a walk-in closet, open floor concept, beautiful kitchen, stainless steel appliances, gorgeous countertops. The Minnetonka, desirable Minnetonka School District, for $599,15624 Sunset Road. And he's got an open house. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, today, tomorrow, 12 to 2. Be sure to check that one out. 15624 Sunset Road in Minnetonka. A very nice property. Be sure to check that one out, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about a product out in Lakeville.
Yeah.
These are car condos, and it is actually listed by Rebecca Thate. I'm giving her a little bit of help in these condos. And if you don't know what they are, they're basically a condo where you've got living quarters maybe above. You've got really cool finishes on the main level where you can work on your cars, your boats, etc. They range from about 300,000 up until the fours. Very hot product, and so if that is something you're interested in, you can reach out to us. Obviously, me. You can just go to the website, Rebecca at 507-381-9920, or you can go to what does that say, Ryan? I have my glasses on.
Which one?
Her email right there.
From
Thate.
you can you can just reach out to the show too.
Yeah,
just
you can,
reach out to mnrealestateshow.com. We can help you. It's a super good product though, Scott.
Yeah, it is.
Fun.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hey, I had another fun comment. Bill Ebert says he loves Jersey Mike's.
Yes.
Which is, or he said Katrina's, which is Chipotle on steroids, in Oakdale. And he said, "Go Packers!" Yeah, Bill's over in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Scott.
maybe we should get a little bit of that. Who is everybody choosing for the weekend? Well, let's put it down to one game. The Pack.
Yeah.
Over San Francisco. San Francisco over the Pack.
Oh, it's going to be a good one for all of our Western Wisconsin folks. I do think San Francisco is going to win tonight. As much as the Pack, wow, they're playing well. I think it's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be much closer than people think. Maybe like a 30-25.
I'm actually taking the Pack.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going against it, and I've been on San Francisco all year, and I still think that San Francisco next to the Ravens is the best team. I don't know. I saw that offense last week with the Pack. Their defense is playing tough. I don't know. I just think they're kind of cresting at the right time.
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't gotten this one for a while. Do open houses work to sell a home? I think in many cases it's a great way to.
No. They do not sell.
Hold on.
They do not sell.
Hold
houses.
on.
Okay.
That's your feeling.
Go ahead.
So from a overall sales standpoint, obviously most really motivated pre-approved buyers are working with really good agents around the Twin Cities, and they have safe searches set up, and they're doing private showings on homes. So most properties are going to be selling that way. So from a percentage wise, it's not as effective. Obviously, an open house, once in a while, it does happen where you sell the home, but it is a way to, Scott, though it may not always, be an immediate sale, to invite people in. Maybe you're not working with an agent, you don't want to do a private showing, and you want to go because there's going to be 6 other people there and not be bothered. Just look at the place, see what it looks like, get some ideas. So yeah, it's not, to your point, it's not super like the number one effective thing, but obviously, we've both sold homes through open houses.
Yeah, I mean, it's nationally, it's less than 1% of homes actually sell through open houses. I would argue that it's probably less than that, because we market our homes on the market. We have it coming soon online. So somebody comes into the open house because we have an open house. Did the open house sell the house? Of course it didn't. The online marketing sold the house. They just physically came to the open house. The benefit of open houses, I don't want to poo-poo them all together. I think there's 2 benefits. One, you do get comments and what people are thinking about the house. Do people think it's priced correctly? Do they think the decorating's fine? Do they like it? Both positive and negative that you can bring back to your sellers and move from that point.
It's actually 4%. 4% of homes sell through open houses.
Yeah. And again, I would argue, I've seen the statistics when it was at 1%.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. So you're saying you saw nothing, you saw a sign on the street,
sure,
and you went to the open house and bought it. I don't think that's 4%.
Yeah, 4%. 4% is what it is, Scott. Hey,
I disagree.
Hey, we're at the final break of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We do appreciate you listening to us here. Love being on WCCO and appreciate you joining us on social media. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. We are here streaming every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And there's no questions off limits. Questions about buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate. You agree with points we make. You disagree. Hey, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We always appreciate the interaction. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Had a comment, Jerry's picking. Jerry Campos says San Fran tonight.
Jerry Campos is one of my very, very best friends from 4th grade on.
Oh, love it.
Great individual. Lives in East Grand Forks, which
Yeah.
is where I went to grade school through 10th grade. And he's picking San Fran. I think most obviously the money's going to be on San Fran, but
Yeah.
I just have a Green Bay feeling.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting to see. Jerry, thanks for listening. We always we do appreciate we appreciate you. Question that we had earlier in the week is about the real estate sign. And from an agent standpoint, what do we encourage putting on the for sale sign? You see a lot of different things, Scott, where it's just a phone number. Sometimes you'll see the riders that will describe open houses. Sometimes they'll have QR codes or different things you can scan to get the brochure. Anything that you've seen or heard over the years that you like from a real estate sign standpoint that's effective?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's like any type of business. I mean, it changes drastically over the years. Real estate signs right now, you could argue, outside of it having a advantage for the listing agent, has absolutely nothing to do with selling a property.
Yep.
You know, obviously, it's marketing for the listing agent that we have a property, then it goes sold, bang, boom. You know, we sell houses. That's great.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, that's super. But as far as it actually having
That's super.
as far as it actually having any direct, I think it would be similar to open houses. Yes. Could somebody see nothing
Yeah.
out there? They live in a closet and they happen to drive by a house and go, oh my gosh, there's a for sale sign, and buy it. Could that happen? Yes.
Hey, we got to tell you who you are. I can't see your name here, but I appreciate your comment. Says, I've sold 2 homes on an open house in 22 years. I would agree with Scott. Thank you. Tell us for some reason,
We
again,
should there should be a bumper sticker that says, I
I
agree with Scott.
or I disagree, with Scott.
Scott.
No, we appreciate that. Yeah, it is interesting. The signs, that's been a trend over the, last 5, 6, 8 years. Hey, what happens with the signs? What do we put on the signs? That type of thing. I think with the advent of really good professional photography, obviously these virtual tours, the tours where you can walk through the homes. Now that's a common one. Again, we've got a great partner, Nordy Photography, does a really nice job. VHT as well, really good professional photography. Mike, thanks, Mike Westphalen, awesome agent with Remax Advantage Plus. We appreciate that. Mike does an awesome job with the open houses. Yeah, it's an interesting deal, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, and it really what it boils down to is there ever anything you could not do on a property that's, could be a benefit? I mean, there's never a reason that you should not do an open house unless sellers just don't want people traipsing through their house that aren't real buyers. But
here we go, guys.
Back at it.
Final segment. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody, and I hope your weekend is going well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on News Talk 830 WCCO. Scott, before I forget, I did want to touch on another featured listing. And this one, actually, there's 2 open houses. The first one is 1300 McAndrews Road, which is an open house tomorrow, Sunday from 11 to 1. And then 429 Terrymore Avenue, which is an open house also tomorrow from 2 to 4. Steve McDonald has those listed. So the Terrymore properties in Minneapolis, Steve McDonald has it listed. Isaac Johnson is going to be there holding the property open. 429 Terrymore for $900,000. It's an opportunity to live on Minnehaha Parkway with privacy. Very nicely updated, a 4-bed, 2-bath gourmet kitchen, many custom features, finished lower level, beautifully landscaped yard, and it's a Minneapolis home you will love to say that I live there. So be sure to check that out, 429 Terrymore. Then the other one, Scott, that he has is the one in Burnsville, 1300 McAndrews Road, number 12, for 272, two bed, two bath, two car garage. It is a great, has a great open floor plan, 9-foot ceilings, wood floors, second floor laundry. The primary bedroom has an ensuite with its own bath and two separate closets, conveniently located to the freeway, shopping, and restaurants. So two really good listings. Again, the one McAndrews, 1300 McAndrews Road, open tomorrow, Sunday, 11 to 1, 429 Terrymore, open 2 to 4. Steve's a great guy, by the way. One of the absolute hardest working people I know. He has a great contracting company called White Birch that he does just a pile of contracting with, makes the team trip every year. Super guy. He and his wife, Carrie, just great people.
Yeah, awesome people. And I've actually had the pleasure of doing a few transactions with him through the years, and takes great care of his clients. So the question of the week, the non-real estate question, is if you could, if you had free food for the rest of your life, but it had to be at a fast food restaurant, which one would it be? And it's probably going to come out. Subway's probably going to edge it, and I think that some form of a poke bowl is second. You know, these questions, just for those of you that don't know me, I love my mom. I'm a huge fan.
I love your mom too.
Yeah, huge fan of my mom. And as I grew up, and especially when she became a grandmother, we would always, every time we had dinner, we would have what she call them, get to know questions. And so all my kids grew up with going around the table having questions asked like that. So I get a kick out of it. And I'm sure we're not the only radio show that does it either. But but my mom, love her to death. She's kind of the one that spurred that on.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to keep it interesting so we don't drone on for an hour about real estate. But hey, we do have a couple other text message questions I did want to get to. Speaking of appliances, is Minnesota a state where your washing machine and dryer stay with the house or go with you? John from Michigan. John, they do stay with the home in most purchase agreements. It's written in that any personal items, anything not affixed or attached to the property, the agent will write that in. Very commonly, they go with the property.
But I will not disagree with you, but I will put an asterisk on that. If there is any negotiable appliance, they would be the most negotiable appliances.
Yep.
Refrigerators, dishwashers, and they stay all the time. So you will see on very few transactions a washer dryer.
Yeah, again, John, thanks for listening. He says he's in Michigan. Hey, we appreciate it. By the way, congratulations to your Michigan Wolverines, national champs. Wow. Yep. And your Detroit Lions are playing tomorrow.
Yes.
It's a good time to be from Michigan, Scott, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I got another one. How long do I need to wait to qualify for a mortgage after a bankruptcy is discharged?
Great question. It is 3 years for FHA. So from the time that your bankruptcy is discharged, and again, you're getting this from a real estate agent, so check my math. But this is my recollection. So 3 years for FHA. It is 7 years to buy conventional, and I don't know on VA.
Yeah, really good question. Essentially, Scott, you were right on the money. It says the most common type of bankruptcy is a Chapter 7. During a Chapter 7, of course, the court wipes away your qualifying debts. So it talks about waiting periods. If you've gone through a Chapter 7, you need to wait at least 4 years after a court discharges or dismisses your bankruptcy. After a chapter 13, it's less serious, Scott, than a Chapter 7. Instead of wiping away the debt, the Chapter 13 reorganizes your debts. And it talks about after Chapter 13, it says you must wait at least 4 years from your dismissal date.
For FHA.
Yeah. So it's the short answer is talk to Mike Overson.
That's right. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but it's a really good question. Appreciate you listening to the show as well. And again, we talked last night with 2024. There is a lot of brightness and hope in the Minnesota real estate market, the Wisconsin real estate market moving forward. It's going to be a good year. If you didn't get a home last year from losing out in multiples or whatever, this is going to be a good year. If you're a seller, great time to sell. An investor, great market. I do really feel good, Scott, about this year moving forward.
It is going to be a great year. And guys that are listening, please reach out to us. If you are going to be doing anything in real estate in the next 3 to 5 years, again, it's my opinion that this year, this next 6 months, 8 months, 9 months is going to be a pivotal time to make that decision. So just reach out to us, give us a call and say, hey, you know what, Scott, I'm thinking about selling, but we were going to move to Florida in 3 years. Take a look at my house. What should I do? Because again, not to beat a dead horse, but there's going to be a lot of decisions that can benefit you this year.
Great job today, bud.
You too.
Yeah, we had another text said Culver's. Love Culver's.
Oh my gosh.
The new flavor of the day.
Yeah.
Culver's.
Well, problem is I'd kill myself on Turtle Sundays.
Hey, we appreciate you joining us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Every Saturday, we're here from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. If you're thinking of buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate, we would be honored to help you. We've got a top agent on the Minnesota real estate team wherever you're listening. Hope you enjoy this weekend. Enjoy some NFL football as well. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us. A lot of good questions, a lot of good comments. Restaurants, Scott, are you going to go eat afterwards?
I am not. I'm actually going to.
Marcos.
What do you say?
Marcos said Chipotle.
Yeah,
Marcos, 40 homes, man. Congratulations.
Incredible year.
Number one on the team.
Yes.
Ruby, thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. So with that, we're going to sign off for now. We'll be back next Saturday. Appreciate everybody joining us. Good job, Scott.
Thanks, guys.